everyone who's just joined in, I request everyone to please turn on their cameras. Let me see all your beautiful faces. I'm sure back in India, it's early in the morning, I guess. Yeah. And for those who are already done with their dinner here in Canada, guys, let's, before calling it a night, let's make it a very fruitful and energetic 1 hour. Okay? Fantastic. All right, guys. For those of you attending for the first time, my name is Ilakshi. I'm a French language trainer, and today, as you must have seen from the post itself, we're doing and unraveling, in fact, a couple of tricks that you should have up your sleeves for gender identifications in French, which is a major, major problem, not only at an A1 level, but till we go to B2 level or a C1 level. We're still struggling in finding what's masculine, what's feminine. It's a whole wrestle there. Okay? But before we get into it, there's a small activity that we're going to do. I'm going to be attaching the link on the chat for you guys, and it's a small fun activity. Which is self-evaluating, by the way. So before I go ahead, I'm going to attach that link so that you guys can open it on your systems on a separate link. Give yourself about 2 minutes or 2 to 3 minutes just to cover this activity. It's a word wall. Just to check how much of knowledge do you already have with this existing vocabulary going around different and very basic rules of gender identification. So I've put this link on the chat. It's for word wall. All of you can please access it. Please put in your name. It'll take you and direct you to the page wherein you're supposed to drag and drop the words into 2 columns. Post which, be very mindful, there's an option of submitting. When you do that, it automatically gives you your score. Now, this score is not for us. None of us need to know each other's score. It's for you. We're going to do another word wall at the end of the session today just to see if there's an improvement or whether or not we have a little bit more clarity on it. That's all. Okay? So everyone, before the rest of the students join in, this is your task at hand. You can all start. Absolutely, Chandni. I'm going to just repeat, I'm going to resend the link. For those who've just joined in, I'll repeat myself. We're going to be talking about gender identification today, but before we begin today's session, we start our discussion, tips, tricks, everything. Before we start yapping, we're going to do a small self-assessment. The word wall, the link that you see, is for you to do one small activity on another link. Don't share your scores with us. We'll just see at the end of the session how much have you improved. Do you feel that there's more clarity in it? Do you think that you're 1% better than where you started off in the beginning of the session? So the link is on the chat. I've put it once again, guys. Please open it, attempt it, put in your name, segregate the words in masculine and feminine, post which, submit it. And once you're done, you know what to do. I need thumbs up on the chats to know that everyone's done and we're all on the same page, and then we begin.
Hi, Lakshi. Ankita here. The score looks great, and I'm happy to share that with you if you would need to watch them.
Absolutely. I'd love to see it towards the end of the session to see how the kids, how all the students did at the end of the session.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll share the snip of the scorecard so that all of them can see the result as well. All the best, guys. I'll
Lovely.
be around. Thank you, Lakshi. Over to
Thanks,
you.
Ankita. Thank you. All right, guys. I see most of you are sending thumbs up and done in the chat, so I get everyone's done it. I hope it was easy, not too difficult. Words are very relevant, A1 and A2 level pertinent. Now, let's say that we may not have known the gender of all the words 100%, but we may have used some flukes here and there, right? Just to take an idea. Today what we'll do is we'll find out how these gender evaluations between masculine and feminine in French go around, because there's so much of confusion around it. Let's dive straight into it. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Please let me know if you can see the screen, like always. Okay. I think I'm gonna go with this one. Super. 1 second. No. Just give me one moment, guys. I think there's a little bit of a trouble sharing it, but I'm just gonna quickly redo it. I think it should be okay. Ah, super. Maintenant, c'est visible. Wait. Okay, guys. Once again, please just let me know in the chat the moment you can see my screen so that I get a heads up. All good? The screen visible? Superb, lovely. Thank you so much, guys, for letting me know. Perfect, lovely. Now, there's some basic things that we already know about the French gender identification. Okay, we do understand that it's very strange because in English we don't have it. If I say there's a book or there's a pen, I'm least bothered about what the gender is because there is no gender associated to it in English. However, French is very similar to how Hindi would be for you guys. Okay, a lot of I see a lot of people from different countries, from different regions, and it's a mixed group of people. Since I come from India, I think it'll be very easy for me to relate the language to my mother tongue, so I understand that it's very similar in that case to Hindi as well, wherein in Hindi also we have genders associated to everything around us. Correct? A lot of times when you look up the words in the dictionary, and now we don't use physical dictionaries, but when we go on Google or Google Translate, it often shows us the letter M or F before a word, which clearly tells us if it's masculine or feminine. There are other ways by which we can find out. The second way is if there is L or hang on before I go ahead. Guys, I know you all are from A1 and A2 level, so this shouldn't be a question to ask, but I'll just go ahead and ask anyway. The L or the La that you see on the screen, what kind of article is it? And the and the Yun that you see, what kind of article is it? You guys can put your responses on the chat. It'll be super easy for all of us to see. Very good. Perfect. So definite and indefinite. Lovely, guys. Super. So we do understand that these are definite and indefinite articles. Clearly, from the looks of it, we know that l and they are used to identify masculine genders. All right. Whereas la and yun, on the other hand, they are used to identify feminine genders. Which means if I have a book, the word for a book is livre, which is masculine. So I would say le livre or un livre, depending on whether I want to say the book or a book. Very simple. And if it's feminine, I would obviously say la or yun. Okay, that's how we've been learning the gender so far, right? Learn it with the article so that you can memorize what the gender is. Another very important trick that I think we'll be doing a lot in detail today, in fact, and we'll be focusing a lot on it, is going to be around your endings or suffixes of the words. There is a lot that we can identify from with the endings of these nouns. For example, if the words are ending in aj, mo, or o, they are usually masculine. Now, there's a reason, guys, we've written usually, okay, for you guys, because French, unlike most other languages, is filled with exceptions. So no matter how close we get to the response or the conjugations or how much we master it, there will always be some exceptions. Okay? But let it not make our lives too difficult. Let's just focus him over here today and let's understand how these endings or suffixes can actually help us identify the genders. So, just the tip of the iceberg, aj, mo, and o ending words are all masculine. They're all masculine. Whereas words such as nouns which are ending in sion, te, and et are always feminine. I don't. For those of you who had attended the last session as well last week, we had talked about sion, and this was a tip that we had I already shared with you during our session that words ending in sion are always feminine. Today we're going to see more such suffixes that help us instantly identify if the word is masculine or feminine. Now, guys, once again, the reason we chose to do this topic with you guys today, everyone, whether they're taking the TEF examination, the TCF, in both your speaking and writing, there are certain criteria on which you're evaluated by the examiner, correct? One such is your grammatical concepts. Now, while we think that articles, gender, they're not that big a deal, honestly, it's a big fat deal. It's a deal breaker because it's a foundational error that people consistently keep making. And if you get the gender incorrect, obviously you'll get the adjective incorrect because you'll not be able to make the accord correctly. You may not obviously get your adjective possessive incorrect or your adjective demonstrative incorrect. A lot relies and goes around your identification of the gender. So it's like a domino effect. You get the gender wrong, possibility that you're going to get the article or the adjective demonstrative, adjective possessive, adjective qualificative, anything to follow that will go wrong, including you according it. Okay? So it's vital that you understand the importance of this small topic today. All right. Now, once again, I'm iterating that there are exceptions, but these patterns really help you a lot navigating through a bunch of words. Okay. Now, today we'll explore how to recognize if a noun is masculine or feminine. We'll basically use the technique of typical endings that are masculine word endings and typical endings for feminine nouns. We'll also see in a different level how gender works with people, how it changes, and with animals. So, your living entities. How the gender plays a role, how it modifies, how it changes between job titles, as well as in countries and regions. Now, guys, understand that today's session is just going to be the first part of it. We have a lot of content that we need to communicate very effectively to you. So we've divided the session into two. We're going to do half the session today, and you'll have to stay tuned for the next session, which is the latter half of it for the next week. All right? All right. On commence maintenant. Super. Let's look at some masculine ending words, okay? It is possible and should be the case that you should be familiar with most of the words that are here. If not, never mind. Today is the day that we do some more vocabulary around. All right? Okay, guys. Words ending in AL, they are always masculine, such as le journal, le cheval. They are masculine. Please note, guys, there would be exceptions to it, and we'd be doing the exceptions separately so as to avoid any confusion. So as of now, we're doing the general rule, and we'll do the exceptions separately in the next session altogether. And we'll give you the list of exceptions as well so that you don't have to hunt around. Next, your words ending in on, which is en, such as le baron, le patron, they are masculine. Some very basic exceptions that you've done in A1 level or A1 beginning level itself are boisson, maison, and la chanson. These, I'm sure, barring your level, these are few words that you would have come across even in A1 first week. Okay? Evidently, EUR, which we pronounce as earth. So your professions or your words such as vendeur or danseur, they are masculine. Please carefully notice the endings. So your EUR endings are all masculine. Okay? Next, your ENT endings, for example. Specifically, your MENT endings. they are masculine, like le segment ou le présent. All your ism, like tourisme, charisme, enthusiasme, they're all masculine, guys. All your isms are masculine. All your eau, like you must have words like bateau, gato, chateau, cadeau, all masculine, guys. All of them. At your A1 level as well, you would have at the max seen words like l'eau, which is water, and la peau, which is skin, which is feminine. Rest, as a generic rule, EAU endings are all masculine. So your bateau, cadeau, chateau, you have oh, what else? Yeah, so these are very basic, which are A1 level. So all of you must be familiar with it. Then let's come to age. Your garage, sauvetage, all masculine because they're ending in age. Basic exceptions at A1 level. Words that you may have come across again in the first, the second week itself. La plage, la cage, and la page. These are feminine. Rest, the words such as garage are all masculine. Okay, let's see another very basic rule which will help you resonate. We have ia, IEN endings. Ia. You must have seen this very clearly when you were doing nationalities, in fact. Do you remember how? Everybody tell me, how does Andia change to feminine? Put it on the chat for me. Perfect. So we have Rakesh, Divya, Nikki, Shaitan. Superb. Very nice. Ruchi, Vinla. Perfect, guys. That's correct. Andia changes to Andean. Pronunciation, okay? Andia and Andean. A greater emphasis on the N here. How does Italian change? Italien. Julien says Italien. Divya, Italian, okay? Renu, Neela, Rakesh, superb. Gohri, Chetan, Italian, perfect. Now, do you guys notice something? Andia, Italia, they're ending in IEN. And instantly, to change it to feminine, what did we do? We doubled the consonant and added an E. Correct? That's the same thing that you do with IEN, which clearly goes to show that IEN ending words are masculine. So you have terms like le musicien, le chien, which are masculine. Okay? Clearly, you guys can notice that all of them are supported with the right and the appropriate article, which is masculine singulier. Very important. And imagine if you thought that any of these words were feminine, the article would have automatically gone wrong. So, like I said, once again, it's a domino effect. Okay, let's try. Let's move forward. Okay, we have words which end in I, such as travail, which is again masculine. Travail is the most common one that you may have come across. Okay, again, TEUR, ter ending. TEUR, which is ter ending, is again masculine, like director, actor, traducteur. These are all masculine endings. Next, very, very important one, and this one's one of my favorites, your OR, OIR. Once again, guys, this is something that I keep reminding in all the sessions. OIR is UA. Okay, Hinal, you have a question?
Yes, I do. Actually, when you were explaining in the ending with INE,
Hmm.
can you please repeat that? Because that word, or sorry, no, it's a noun, right? So that is feminine, right? And you are saying that it's masculine, so I got confused
Okay,
over
which
there.
one are we talking about? IEN?
Indian, or we were talking about like nationalities.
Okay,
Italian,
perfect.
Indian.
I'll tell you where I was drawing the parallel from. When I
Okay.
asked that, here's my word, Andia, putting it on the chat for everyone. This is
Okay.
Andia. We know this is
Yeah.
masculine, correct? How do we
Yeah.
change it to feminine? So everybody, all of you very quickly responded, and the N.
Yes.
Another example, Italian. We say it's masculine. How do we change it to feminine? Italien.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Which means we already have a pattern that we may have missed out on before, which is
Yeah.
IEN endings are all masculines and we change it to feminine. And how
Mm.
do we change it to feminine? I'm telling it to you now, which is by doubling the consonant.
No. I got that concept. My question is when it changes, the article will change, obviously, right? So that will change, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that was my confusion.
Yeah, the article changes. So, like I said in the beginning, if you do not get the gender right in your head, then
Hmm.
automatically article gets confusing. So, article will obviously not
Okay.
come out right. If it was adjective possessive, that would also not come out right because how will you choose between mo, ma, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's
Yeah.
adjective demonstrative, sir, set, how would you choose if you do not know? And vice versa, going ahead in it, if it's
Mm.
adjective qualificative, like grand or grande, petit or petite, courageux,
Mm.
courageous, how would you choose? What goes perfectly to describe the noun if you don't know the gender? So everything is in such a network that the moment we get the gender wrong, things start falling apart.
Okay.
Yeah. And we're going to be seeing a lot more of that as we go down below because I'm going to show you much more of these samples. The easiest for me to create a link here was the nationalities because you guys do it in A1 level and I know that some of you are from A1, A2, B1 and so on levels. So just to keep it at the foundation. I hope the doubt is clear, Hinal. Okay, lovely. Moving forward, I was on UR. Guys, your UR ending verbs arrosoir, le fermoir, these are masculine. Okay? Very fun things towards the end for masculine. Okay? Or your cardinal points. What are cardinal points? Directions north, south, east, west. All masculine, guys. All masculine. All your days of the week. No brainer, all masculine. Doesn't matter what they're ending in, they have an E in the end or not. All logic out the window. All your days are masculine. So it's le lundi, le mardi, le mercredi. All your months are masculine. So it's going to be le janvier ou l'octobre ou le novembre. Okay, it'll never be la. Your seasons are masculine. L'été, le printemps, l'automne, l'hiver, all masculine. We may wonder, okay, autumn is ending with an E, it is ending with an E. Why are they not why are they not feminine? Because all seasons, no matter which ones they are, they're going to fall in your masculine category. All your trees, guys. Le sapin. Anyone who can tell me what a sapin is? I'm sure some of you would know for sure. Anyone who can help all of us and identify what is le sapin? Absolutely. We got Jitendra, Gayatri, very nice, Neela. Very good. So, Sapa is a Christmas tree, masculine. Your trees, guys, are masculine. Okay. We have some more examples in front of us, such as le peuplier. Anybody who knows what a peuplier is? Anyone? Sort of. So it's like a poplar tree. Yep, absolutely, Amy. Absolutely. You got that perfect. I was very surprised. I didn't know if anyone would know this, but it's a poplar tree. Very nice. So all your trees, they're going to be all masculine. All your languages, Francais, l'anglais, l'allemand, Hindi, all of them are masculine. So the easiest category for us to look at this point in time, honestly, is the last category. You just need to know that all your cardinal points, which are your directions, days, months, season, trees, and languages, they're all masculine. Whilst you've also covered words like AL, ON, ENT, or MENT, isms, O, A, aj, your I, ya, ter, war, they're also masculine. Okay? Similarly, we have endings, typical endings in French, which help me identify if a word is feminine. Okay? In the very beginning, when we started, I pointed out et. Okay? Et is feminine ending. Usually, guys, again, I'm saying usually as an indicator, when you double the consonant and add an E in the end, it makes feminine. Just the way that you guys did with your Andia and Italia. You doubled the consonant N and you added an E in the end and turned it into feminine. This is one way of turning something into feminine as well as an indicator for you that if something is ending with that, it is feminine for you. Okay? So you have examples such as la poussette and la cigarette. Vocab time, guys. What is la poussette? What is la poussette? Anyone? Okay. Oh yes, perfect, Divyang. It's a stroller. Very nice. Very nice. So it's a stroller, the one that we use for kids. So it's like a stroller or like a baby carriage of sort. Okay, and obviously we know what a cigarette is. Next one. Let's come to the next one. Ur. Ur. So all your ur endings is feminines like confiture, la culture. Okay, pronunciation tip, guys. Whenever you put u with after a consonant, bu, tu, lu, mu. That's the sound that we gotta connect. Okay, hence confiture, la culture. In the very basics, in the very beginning, try to train with this. Okay, bu, tu, lu, mu. Say that at least 10 times just to get into the rhythm of it and then start calling our words. So it's la confiture, la culture. These are all feminine. Again, we have an exception such as le murmure. Anyone who wants to help us understand what murmure is? Anyone? Correct. It's like, you know how in English we say you're murmuring? Very nice, Emmy. Thanks for putting that out for us. Anshuman, Divyang, you got it right. Emmy, Biswajit, Gayatri, you also got that right. It's the same thing in English that you do. You're murmuring, you're whispering. That is murmure. We get that a little bit? Give me a thumbs up if you guys are understanding the masculine ones and the feminine ones so far. Are we all together on this? Yeah, okay. Superb, lovely. Because after this session, whenever you see words around, I want you to point out masculine, feminine. I want that game to keep going between you guys. Superb, lovely, guys. Wonderful. Okay. That means you're understanding. I can go ahead easily. Oh, yeah. Okay. Next, your in endings. Guys, in endings are again feminine. Like la cuisine, la cabine. This is all feminine. Again, your E with an accent aigu followed by E, which is A. Like l'arrivée, l'idée are feminine. Now the logic behind that also I'll tell you. If you've done adjective qualificative also, if I have a word which is ending in E aigu, in order to make it feminine as an adjective, my standard rule is to add an E in the end. Okay, that's my standard rule for adjective qualificative also, and that's my rule here for noun also. So if you identify a word which has E aigu followed by another E, giving you the sound A, this is feminine. So you have the words like ide and l'arrivée, which is feminine, and then you have exceptions like le musée, le lycée, le trophée, le pocher, le muselet. There are exceptions to it, and these are very basic exceptions. You know that museum is masculine. You know the lycée, which is your high school, is masculine. Okay. Next, very interesting one. Your IE ending, obviously, it's ending with an E. It's ending with an IE. It's going to be feminine. So, la géologie, la librairie. Feminine, guys. Okay. Again, doubling the consonant, same logic, gives me feminine. So, la maîtresse. La maîtresse. Anyone who knows what a maîtresse is? It's a very basic word. Anyone who can tell me what a maîtresse is? Guys, the word for mattress is metala. Almost there, guys. Not so much, sorry. No. Teacher, correct. Thanks, Ritika. Thank you. You got that perfectly cool. That was right. It is a teacher. A female teacher is also called a maîtresse. Okay? If you remember, the subjects are called les métiers. The subjects, a person who teaches those subjects, a female teacher, that is la maîtresse. Okay? All right. Let's try a couple of more. Please see, doubling the consonant, LLE, again gives me the same thing, which is feminine. Okay? Your ans and ons endings are also feminine, like ambulance and essence. So keep in mind, whenever you hear the ons sound or the ans sound, most likely that they're going to be feminine. Okay? Very interesting, and some of my favorites. So some of my favorites in terms of some very basic ones here. Please and us. I'm going to draw a comparison from the masculine here. You did the word traducture. Traducture. Or something like actor. Or director. All your TEUR endings, you just saw that they are masculine, correct? Changing them to feminine. The easiest way to change them into feminine, the right way to actually change them into feminine is to change it to tris. Which is why your traducteur becomes traductrice, acteur becomes actrice, directeur becomes directrice. Which means what? That your tris ending words are feminine. If we are using that to change a masculine to feminine, evidently words ending in tris are feminine. Isn't it? Which means if I look at terms like right here, traductrice, it's feminine. Also, some terms like EUR that we saw above, like vendeur or danseur, would change to EUSE. La vendeuse, la vendeuse. Okay? All your ads, ADE, ads. The way you had age there, similarly, ad. This is feminine. Like facade. Facade is like a front. La pomade. Anybody who knows what a pomade is? It's a very strange word, but anybody who can tell me what a pomade is? It's got to do with beauté. Yes, superb, Julian. That was very fast. Oil or ointment or a cream that you use, that's basically it. Very nice. Okay, moving forward. Your words ending in I, E, E, and the E, the second last E is with an accent grave. Again, I'm going to take a very simple example that you may have seen before. What do we call a baker? What do we call a baker? Boulangère. Very nice. Boulangère. Super. If I want to call somebody, like I'm writing a letter and I want to say dear, how will I write? Share. Perfect. Superb. Lovely. That means you guys already know this till here. Now understand, you have words, the one that you've just taken, share. What if you were writing to a female friend or a sister or your mom? How would this share change? Perfect. So we have Ruchi who's written share with an accent grave, and that's perfect. Reason, guys. words that end in ER, we don't simply just add another E in the end and make it feminine. The second last E in this case takes an accent grave and then we add an E. That's why your boulanger doesn't have an accent grave, but your boulanger, which is with an E in the end, that's feminine, has an accent grave on the second last E. Same is the case with cher. CHER, if I say cher Anshuman, I would say CHER. But if I want to say cher Rose, I would say CHERE. But my second last E will have an accent grave. So whenever you have ER endings, you want to change them to feminine, such as these words, they'll take an E, but they'll also take an accent grave. So whenever you see that element in words, you should identify and relate it to feminine. Okay? We just discussed EN in detail. So we know la musicienne, la chienne, we have anion. These are all feminine. Okay? Doubling the consonant, same concept. Doubling the consonant, same concept. Doubling the consonant, very similar concept. Okay? Guys, all your continents now. Anybody who can type out all the continents for me. Come on. I want you guys to type down actually all the continents for me. Very good. We have l'Afrique. Very good. Superb. L'Afrique is superb. We got one, guys. That's wonderful. États-Unis, United States of America is not it's not it, because we got to either put it in North America or South America. So we can say l'Amérique du Nord or l'Amérique du Sud, which is okay. Asie, very nice. Asia, guys. Asia, superb. L'Asie is again very nice. We have Antarctique, very nice. Somebody put Antarctique, very nice, Inal, and even Khalid put it, superb. We have l'Oceanie, very nice. This is your Australia. L'Oceanie, that's basically Australia. Okay, very nice. Guys, we're missing, so we have already, perfect. So we have l'Afrique, let me see. We have l'Afrique, we have Amérique, which is l'Amérique du Sud or l'Amérique du Nord, which is okay. L'Asie, Europe, l'Océanie, et l'Antarctique. Very good. We're still okay, we got them all nice. Perfect. Paul has put all of that for us. Superb. All these continent guys, all of them, they are feminine. Okay. So let's say if you were to travel to Europe and you say je vais dash Europe. I'm going to Europe. Here, very good. You got to put EN. Why? Because as a concept, EN is used to say to a particular country or continent which is feminine. And knowing that all continents are feminine, we're going to use on. Does that make sense to you guys? Yeah? Okay. Again, very similar concept with academic disciplines such as la médecine, la philosophie, la chimie. Now, this is a little intertwined also in terms that when we just did that IE endings are feminine, it was there. We did EN endings are feminine. The concept was right there. So it's a mix and match rule of that. Okay, so quickly, so far, let's just review. We saw masculines, ALON, EUR, which is all your isme and asthma, your EIN, then your O's, AER, AJ, AI, IA, TEF, UR. Endings are masculine, most of them. Of course, there are some exceptions, but broadly. All your cardinal points, which are your direction, north, south, east, west, are masculine. Your days, months, masculine. Seasons, trees, languages, masculine. Coming to feminine, your doubling consonant followed by an E, like E-T-T-E, I-E-N-N-E, they are feminine. Your ur and een, feminine. Your I-E ending that you just see here is feminine. Next, E-S-S-E, doubling the consonant, E-L-L-E, doubling the consonant is feminine. Your arms and owns, feminine. You also saw some common ones like crease, hughes, and ad, which are again feminine. I and on, feminine. All your continents and academic disciplines, your subjects, they're going to be in feminine. Broadly, do you see a whole picture of the categories? If yes, give me a thumbs up on the chat so then I can dive into the next element of this. Sure. Biswaji, can you tell me specifically what do you want me to repeat, and I'll repeat that for sure.
The EN part which you discussed just now.
Absolutely. I'll just scroll back up. We're talking about the last stretch that we have here, the beautiful last stretch that we have here. Your doubling consonants, which is I-E-N-N-E. So nationality example, followed by la musicienne et la chienne. Again, O-N-N-E, which is again feminine, a very basic example of it, guys. I mean, this I'm pretty sure everybody would have seen. Bonne. Feminine, right? So you're doubling the consonant followed by an E are usually feminine. And you've seen so many examples of it. You saw E-T-T-E, you saw E-S-S-E, you saw E-L-L-E, you saw I-E-N-N-E, you saw O-N-N-E, all feminine. Okay, all feminine. Followed by which, if I come to some nouns, in which we can identify how people and animals, their gender specific and how biological genders are defined. Very simple, guys. Biological gender of a boy is masculine, correct? Which means it's masculine, right? So the article is going to be masculine. Anything that comes before it's going to be masculine. The biological gender of a woman, a girl, a daughter, an aunt, all feminine. So it will be followed by a feminine article. True? So biological genders are easy to identify. They remain the same. Le coq et la poule. What is le coq, guys? Very good. Masculine, any which way, rooster is masculine. So the gender here is a no-brainer, masculine. So biological genders for animals and people, whatever they are, they remain the very same in French. Okay? No changes there at all. Sometimes what we have to do is, because some animals have fixed gender, where like both male and female are there. So what do? We just add the word male and femelle in front of it. Okay. So if I want to say a male rat or a mouse, I would say la souris mâle. Why? Because the word la souris can be both masculine, like souris can be masculine or feminine, we don't know, but the word souris itself is feminine. But if it's a masculine mouse, I'm just gonna add mâle after it. And if it's feminine, femelle. Okay, once again, focus. Certain animal nouns have a fixed gender that refer to both males and females. So to specify that particular animal's biological gender, we just add the word male and female before or after the noun and we're done. Like if it's a crocodile, la femelle du crocodile, the female crocodile. Cool? Moving forward, diving into the job titles. The job titles that we see lately. So certain job titles, guys, they do not have a separate feminine gender. They are gender neutral. Okay? Because they already end with an E. Like journalist. Already ends with an E. I'm not going to add another E, right? There's no need for it. neutral. So un journaliste and une journaliste. Make sense? No gender change. If we have words like un ministre or une ministre, the spelling of ministre is TRE. Now I can't do anything about it. Again, Biswajit, you have a question about Shah and Shia. Let me clarify. We'll double the consonant here as well. Shah becomes Shat if we know it's a female cat. Shia becomes Shien if we know that it's a bitch, which is a female dog. When we do not know the gender, it's gender neutral for us. We let it be le Shia or we let it be le Shah. If we are very specific and we know the gender, then we change it to la Shat, which is a female cat, or we change it to la Chien, which is a female dog. Okay? So we double the consonant, that's rule. Alright. Coming back. Journaliste already ends with an E. It's a gender neutral profession, job title. So and une journaliste remains the same. No, because femme is a lady or a woman. And we just want to associate the word female with it. So that won't suffice, Chandni. So we'll have to stick to female. Okay? No, the version of stating feminine here is la femelle du crocodile. That's the correct version of it. You know how sometimes in French, in English, when we say the French book, but in French, we have to reverse it, the book of French. Something of a similar concept. You got to reverse it. We don't say it directly. We don't accept it directly in the language. Okay? Super. Okay, so your professions and job titles, which are anyway ending with an E, they will continue to be the same. We just change the article. So if it's a male journalist, it's un journaliste. If it's a female journalist, it's une journaliste. If it's a male minister, it's un ministre. And if it's a female minister, it's une ministre. Okay? The word libraire, which is very similar to the term librarian. Un libraire and une libraire. Same. My and une will define and will be an indicator whether it's talking about a female or a male employee. Okay? Now, the same way, there are some job titles that only and only exist in the masculine form. But we refer the same for both men and women. Like if it's ingénieur, it doesn't end with an E. I don't have to add another E in the end and make it feminine. I'll use the same spelling. So un ingénieur and une ingénieur. These are certain professions which are exceptions that do not change its form in feminine. They remain the same. Chirurgien, for example, which means a surgeon, remains chirurgien only for feminine. I just change my article. Okay? Followed by which there are majority of the professions that were previously only associated with men, but now they have their own female forms to it. Okay? So we modified over the years and over time and over generations by adding an E in the end. Okay, but of course, mostly they're not very common to hear, so you may or may not see them most of the time, but know that it's acceptable. Like a magistrat would change to une magistrat. Okay, over the years, this is acceptable, this has modified, but in some places, you'll still see it as une magistrat. So both are correct, but just understand the reason you see it in both is because these jobs were not years and years ago not occupied by women. Now that they are, that's the age of it, the language has modified itself. There have been changes, but there's a possibility that you see it in both the terms. Know that both of them are acceptable. All right? So, magistrat is one example. Un écrivain. Un écrivain is also an example. Okay, a writer. Or une écrivaine, which is a female writer, can also say une écrivain. Both are acceptable. Okay, just know that actor doesn't become actor with an E, it changes to actrice. So the rule that you learned above in the table. All right. Again, some more examples where the form only remains masculine, such as plombier, which is a plumber, and a mécanicien. Okay, but it can be used to describe both male and female. All right, without hesitation. So far, are we good, guys? Is there any question? Yes, Jitendra, the term does exist. Like I said, now because of gender evolution, we do hear these terms and they're acceptable both ways. So don't be hesitant in using them. Okay? The language is evolving, the words are evolving, new terms are being accepted. In fact, gender neutrality terms are also accepted. A lot of times in I don't know, newspapers, magazines, or blogs, if you guys ever read, you'll see that, for example, étudiant will neither be written with an E in the end or an S in the end. It'll be separated by 2 dots. Try, notice any official blog that you read online or a newspaper, you'll find that often now writers have started incorporating these gender neutral elements. All right, we have people who do not identify in either genders, and now it's more or less we should be able to address them correctly. Hence, gender neutral elements in writing as well. So you'll see them separated by these 2 dots, which show that it's a gender neutral. We're trying to be inclusive. Make sense? Whenever you guys notice it, the next time you guys read an online blog maybe, or a newspaper or a magazine article, maybe take it into consideration. It's all about inclusivity. And more than before, we need it now. So that's why we're seeing it. We didn't see it before, but we see it now, which is why terms like plombière and magistrat, we didn't have a female version of it or a term to it. Now we do, which means either of them are acceptable when you're writing. Okay? All right. There are some professions. The professions why we're talking in length is because they have the maximum rules of changes. Okay? They only have feminine form in French, like sage femme ou hôtesse de l'air. Hôtesse de l'air is air hostess. We don't have the term for male host. The term is un steward. Okay? A femme de ménage, une femme de ménage, we know is a homemaker. She's a homemaker. The word for somebody who's masculine in French, this is the word that they've allotted to it, is un technicien de surface. But like we said, inclusivity, gender neutrality, why not? We can say either. Why not? All right? Okay. Going just a little bit forward here, guys. I'm going to be talking about the last stretch that we have for today's session, which is names of the countries and regions, which are feminine and masculine. Now, no brainer here, very simple. The ones ending in E are feminine, like La France, Allemagne, Chine, Bretagne, La Provence, all feminine, as long as they're ending with an E. Okay, there are some exceptions, I'll come to them. But if they're ending with any other vowel, A, I, O, U, or a consonant, then they're masculine. For example, Canada ends with a consonant, but it's not an E. Masculine. Peru, Maroc, Japan, Portugal, all masculine. Once again, all the countries which end in vowels except for E, except for the vowel E or a consonant, they're all masculine. Like le Canada, le Peru, le Maroc, le Japon, et le Portugal. Okay? And all that end with an E, which is la France, l'Allemagne, la Chine, la Bretagne, these are all feminine. quick question. Anybody who can just brainstorm and tell me any such country that you know which ends with an E but still is masculine? Anyone? Give me any. Very good. I see Mexico. Okay. All
Le Bellies.
about Mexico was perfect. The ones who've written Germany, please know it's Alemania. So Alemania is feminine. Okay, Spain, which is Espagne, again feminine. Le Bellies, very nice. That's masculine too. So Le Bellies, Le Cambodge, Le Mexique, Le Mozambique, and Le Zimbabwe, all ending in e's. But these are the only countries which are an exception to the rule. Is that okay, guys? All right. Quickly to wrap it all up, we'll not dive into the whole revision of let's start from page 1 and then page 2. No. We discussed a lot. We got our heads around it. Now, you see, I'm going to be putting up. Okay. I think Ankita's put it perfect. So, Ankita's put on the chat another link for word wall. Very similar to what you did the moment you started the session today. Now, try this one and just self-evaluate yourself. All of you, come on. Let's wrap the session up with just a fun thing. You just have to hit on the correct one. Once you guys are done, you know what to do. You got to put thumbs up on the chat and let all of us know you're finished. Lovely. I see some of you finished. Chandni, Vanilla. Okay, nice name. Emmy, Manisha, Paul, Julia, very good. All right, I see thumbs up coming in, so most of you are winding it up. Akshat, Sinu, lovely guys. Super. I just hope that all of you from today's session is taking something back and have a little bit, even if it's a 1% of an improvement from the first word wall that you did when you started the session. We'll add more information to it, but the more the content, we'll have more exceptions, all of that coming your way in the next session. But I hope that whatever we did today was clear, c'était assez clair pour vous. Si vous avez des questions, vous pouvez laisser un message ici, peut-être sur le chat, or maybe you can let us know in the next session if you have any doubts that you come up with, and we'll address it that time as well. Cool? All right, superb. Lovely seeing all of you today, guys. Merci beaucoup pour votre participation et enchanté. Gonna meet you guys very soon. Au revoir, bye bye, guys. De rien, au revoir.